Before the Mali Empire rose to become one of the wealthiest and most influential states in medieval Africa, before gold caravans crossed the Sahara and the name of Mansa Musa echoed from West Africa to the Middle East, there was a story, part legend, part oral history, about a union that changed everything. And in this video, we explore the love story woven into the foundation of Mali's rise, separating documented history from epic tradition, while honoring the powerful role memory and myth played in shaping one of Africa's greatest empires. To understand this story, we must step back to the 13th century in West Africa, in a region shaped by trade, lineage, and the slow decline of the once dominant Ghana Empire. Oral historians, known as griots, preserve the memory of this era through epic recitations, the most famous of which is the Epic of Sundiata, a foundational narrative for the Mali Empire. According to widely studied oral traditions, the birth of the empire traces back to the union of Maghan Kon Fatta, a Mandinka king, and a woman named Sogolon Kedjou, whose story carries both romantic and prophetic elements. While written documentation from that era is limited, historians such as Ibn Khaldun later recorded aspects of Mali's origins, drawing from earlier oral accounts and regional reports, suggesting that although the details may be embellished, the central figures were real historical actors. The story begins with prophecy. As the tradition tells it, Maghan Kon Fatta was told by hunters that he would father a powerful ruler, but only if he married an unusual woman described as unattractive yet destined to bear greatness. This woman was Sogolon Kedjou. The narrative frames their union not merely as political, but as fated, intertwining love, destiny, and divine will. Whether romantic in the modern sense or primarily dynastic in purpose, their marriage symbolizes the merging of prophecy and power, an idea common in many medieval societies where legitimacy was reinforced through spiritual narrative. From this union was born Sundiata Keita, who would later become the founder of the Mali Empire. According to the Epic of Sundiata, his early life was marked by struggle. He was reportedly unable to walk as a child, mocked by rivals, and overshadowed by other royal heirs. Modern historians approach these elements cautiously, recognizing them as heroic motifs common in epic storytelling, yet they also acknowledge that such narratives often encode real political tensions. Sundiata's mother, Sogolon, is portrayed as fiercely protective and emotionally central to his development, and her bond with her son becomes one of the emotional cores of the story. After Maghan Kon Fatta's death, succession disputes fractured the kingdom, and Sundiata, along with his mother, was forced into exile. It is here that the love story element deepens, not simply between husband and wife, but between mother and son, and between leader and homeland. Oral tradition emphasizes loyalty, resilience, and devotion, portraying Sogolon's unwavering belief in her son as the catalyst for his eventual rise. Some scholars argue that this maternal narrative was preserved intentionally to highlight the importance of women in Mandinka political culture, challenging assumptions that medieval power structures were entirely male-dominated. Exile shaped Sundiata's character and alliances. During his years away from home, he is said to have built relationships with neighboring rulers, learning diplomacy and strategy. By the time he returned to challenge the powerful sorcerer king Sumaoro Kante of the Sosso kingdom, he was no longer the mocked child of legend, but a leader forged through adversity. The climactic Battle of Kirina, often dated to around 1235 based on historical reconstructions, marked the defeat of Sumaoro and the beginning of Mali's dominance in the region. While precise details remain debated among historians, there is broad agreement that a decisive military victory during this period consolidated Mandinka power and laid the foundation for imperial expansion. What makes this origin story unique is how deeply personal relationships are woven into political transformation. The marriage of Maghan Kon Fatta and Sogolon Kedjou, framed through prophecy, produced a ruler whose legitimacy was rooted not only in conquest but in destiny. The exile of mother and son transformed suffering into moral authority. The return to reclaim the homeland framed political revolution as fulfillment of promise. In many ways, the love at the heart of this story is not limited to romance, but extends to loyalty, family, and devotion to land and people. Following Sundiata's victory, the Mali Empire expanded rapidly, controlling key gold fields and trade routes across West Africa. Trans-Saharan commerce connected Mali to North Africa and beyond, and over time, the empire grew into a center of wealth, scholarship, and culture. Later rulers, including the famously wealthy Mansa Musa in the 14th century, would elevate Mali's global reputation even further. But historians widely recognize that the political structure enabling that prosperity began with Sundiata's consolidation of power. His leadership established a system that balanced central authority with local autonomy, creating stability that endured for generations. It is important to approach the founding narrative with both respect and critical analysis. Much of what we know comes from oral tradition recorded centuries later, and while these sources are invaluable, they blend history with symbolic storytelling. Modern scholars cross-reference oral accounts with Arabic chronicles, archaeological findings, and linguistic studies to build a fuller picture. The consensus among historians is that while certain supernatural or exaggerated elements belong to epic tradition, the core historical events, including the rise of Sundiata and the formation of a centralized Mandinka state in the 13th century, are well supported. The love story at the heart of Mali's birth reminds us that empires are not only built through warfare and economics, but also through relationships that inspire resilience and unity. Whether viewed as prophecy fulfilled or as political strategy wrapped in poetic memory, the union of Maghan Kon Fatta and Sogolon Kedjou symbolizes the beginning of a transformation that reshaped West Africa. Their story, preserved through generations of griots, became more than personal history. It became the moral foundation of an empire. And through this blend of love, exile, prophecy, and triumph, we see how deeply human emotions intertwine with the rise of civilizations. Because behind every empire lies not only strategy and gold, but the stories people choose to remember, stories that give power meaning and history a soul.
After the decisive victory at the Battle of Kirina around 1235, Sundiata did more than defeat a rival ruler. He reorganized an entire political landscape. According to Mandinka oral tradition, he convened an assembly, often referred to as the Gbara, a council of clan leaders and representatives that helped establish the principles of governance for the new empire. Some scholars describe this early charter, sometimes called the Kurukan Fuga in later tradition, as one of the foundational constitutional frameworks in West African history, though historians debate how much of its current form reflects later interpretation. Still, there is broad agreement that Sundiata's rule emphasized alliance building and social cohesion rather than purely centralized domination. This approach may reflect the relational foundations of his origin story, where loyalty and trust were as important as military power. The legacy of Sogolon's influence also continued symbolically in the empire's cultural memory. Griots preserved not only the military triumphs of Sundiata, but the emotional narrative of exile, maternal devotion, and destiny fulfilled. In doing so, they reinforced a model of leadership rooted in resilience rather than invincibility. Modern historians and anthropologists studying oral societies note that these stories served as both entertainment and political education, teaching future generations that legitimacy depended on fulfilling communal expectations.
The love story at the empire's birth became a moral compass, reminding rulers that authority required responsibility. As Mali expanded, it controlled vital gold-producing regions such as Bambouk and Boudé, positioning itself at the center of trans-Saharan trade networks. Caravans carried gold northward in exchange for salt, textiles, and manuscripts, linking Mali to cities like Cairo and beyond. Arabic chroniclers, such as Ibn Battuta, who visited Mali in the 14th century, described a prosperous and organized society, noting the empire's wealth and relative stability. While his account was written more than a century after Sundiata's reign, it reflects the durability of the political foundations laid in the empire's formative years. Many historians argue that without the consolidation achieved under Sundiata, later rulers like Mansa Musa would not have inherited such a powerful and cohesive state. Mansa Musa's famous pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324 further amplified Mali's global reputation, reportedly distributing so much gold in Cairo that it affected regional markets, according to several contemporary accounts. Though economic historians debate the precise scale of that impact, there is no dispute that Mali's wealth astonished observers across North Africa and the Middle East. Yet behind that wealth was the legacy of unity forged decades earlier. The empire's ability to mobilize resources on such a scale depended on internal stability, administrative coordination, and shared identity, all of which trace back to its foundational narrative. It is also important to recognize that the love story embedded in Mali's origin reflects broader West African traditions in which spiritual destiny and communal bonds were inseparable from governance. In many African societies, rulers were expected to embody both strength and moral integrity. The story of Sundiata's early disability and eventual triumph served as a metaphor for transformation, suggesting that greatness could emerge from vulnerability. Some historians interpret this as a symbolic message to the Mandinka people, reinforcing collective resilience during times of hardship. Modern scholarship approaches the epic of Sundiata with careful balance. While it cannot be treated as a literal transcript of events, it is regarded as a crucial historical source when cross-examined with archaeological findings, linguistic patterns, and written chronicles from neighboring regions. Researchers emphasize that oral history is not inferior to written history, but follows its own conventions of symbolism and memory. The blending of romance, prophecy, and politics in Mali's founding story illustrates how societies encode legitimacy within narrative frameworks that resonate emotionally across generations. The decline of Mali Empire in later centuries, influenced by internal fragmentation, shifting trade routes, and external pressures, does not diminish the power of its origin story. Instead, it highlights how foundational myths can outlast political structures. Even after Mali's territorial influence waned, the memory of Sundiata and Sogolon endured in songs, ceremonies, and collective identity. The empire's cultural imprint shaped successor states and continues to influence West African heritage today. What makes the birth of the Mali Empire particularly compelling to modern audiences is the human dimension at its core. Unlike purely militaristic origin stories, Mali's foundation is remembered through relationships, prophecy, exile, and devotion. The marriage of Maghan Kon Fatta and Sogolon Kedjou, whether viewed as strategic alliance or destined love, symbolizes the merging of personal and political destiny. Their union produced not only a ruler, but a narrative powerful enough to unify diverse clans under a shared vision. In the end, the love story that sparked the birth of the Mali Empire reminds us that history is shaped not only by battles and borders, but by the emotional bonds that inspire courage and loyalty. Through oral tradition and scholarly research, we glimpse a civilization that transformed personal struggle into imperial strength, turning prophecy into policy and affection into authority. And as we listen to the echoes of griots who have carried this story across centuries, we are reminded that empires may rise and fall, but the stories that give them meaning endure far longer than any crown or throne ever could.